Hello, students, and welcome to English class. I'm your English teacher, Mr. Oza, and it is time for us to work on classwork number 45. Today's chapter is called The Underground Female Road. And the novel we are reading, of course, is called The Handmaid's Tale, and it was written by Margaret Atwood. So let's jump right into this assignment. This is chapter number 8 out of 12 in this unit. So we are working towards the last half of this book. So let's get right to it. Some instructions, the same instructions that we have used for most of this unit. You're going to look at 4 pictures. We'll actually do that together right now. 4 pictures. After this video is over, you're going to write down one prediction. So based on what you learned in this video and based on the pictures that you see, what is one prediction that you have? And also, what is one question that you have? Is there anything that you want to learn about? Is there anything that you're unsure about? Are there any connections you can make to the real world or to, any content outside of this novel that you want to ask me about? Once you're done with that prediction and question, I will give you some feedback. I will tell you if your prediction was correct. I will answer your question to the best of my ability, and you can move on with the assignment. So these are our instructions for today's assignment. So let's jump into those first 4 pictures. If you remember from the last chapter, June is at the nightclub Jezebel's. She was taken there by Commander Fred Waterford, secretly taken to Jezebel's. She sees Moira in the bathroom at Jezebel's. Moira was her best friend from the before times, the pre-Gilead era. Before this authoritarian government took over, Moira and June were best buddies, and they were both kidnapped and they were both forced to become handmaids. Now, Moira escaped. She managed to escape the Red Center and she went on a crazy adventure. June didn't know what happened after she escaped, and so here is what happened. In this chapter, Moira is going to explain what happened after she escaped the Red Center and what went down. So the first thing she talks about is she was taken in by a group of Quakers. So the Quakers are a religious group that, as you can see, they oppose all war. The Quakers basically have a pretty solid reputation. They're known as being accepting and peaceful people. And so when Moira escapes the Red Center, she finds this group of Quakers, a family of Quakers actually, literally knocks on their door and asks them for help. And so she goes between a couple of different Quaker residences and eventually finds herself on what is called the Underground Female Road. Now, you might be able to tell what I did here on this slide. This is just an image of the Underground Railroad in the 1800s when slaves were trying to escape from the slave states and either escape to the north, or as you can see here, some of them did escape to the south, like the deep, deep south, like to try and escape the country, in the southern way. All I did was I took the word railroad and I just added in the word female road. So you can see what the author, Margaret Atwood, is trying to do. Is she's really trying to equate, the slavery in the United States at the southern plantations, trying to equate that to the way women are being treated here in Gilead. So Moira found a group of Quakers here. The story takes place in Massachusetts, and so she's already like pretty high, here in the north, and this story takes place in Massachusetts. So there's a bunch of different routes where she can get up and try to escape into Canada, and that is exactly what she's trying to do. And so the Underground Female Road was a way for handmaids to escape Gilead and find their way into Canada. So you'll read about her story, you'll read about her journey as she tries to head up north, but as you know, she's working at Jezebel's. She wasn't able to find freedom and she got captured. Now, when she got captured, she was given a choice, and you'll read about this choice. You can either go down and work at Jezebel's, or you can go off and work in the colonies. So this is a screenshot from the Handmaid's Tale Hulu show, and at the colonies, you're basically either cleaning toxic waste or nuclear waste after the 4 nuclear bombs had been dropped on United States soil, or you're cleaning up like bodies after battles during the war. So it's a highly undesirable job to have, and especially if you're cleaning up that nuclear waste, you're basically going to die after a certain amount of time. Some people might be able to make it a few months, some people maybe even up to a year, but when you're working with radioactive waste on a daily basis, you're not going to live very long. So she basically had a choice of life or death, and life meant she had to work at this nightclub Jezebel's, which was pretty demeaning and also undesirable, but it allowed her to keep her life and keep her health to some extent. So you'll read about all the details of her journey in the chapter today. So remember, once this video is over, based on what you just learned, you're going to write down one prediction and you're going to write down one question. And of course, as always, I'll give you feedback on your prediction and question. After you do that, you're going to read the chapter. Click on the link in your Google Doc to read the chapter. The link for today's chapter, as usual, is directly in your Google Doc. Click on it and read it. It's about 5, maybe 6 pages today. Moira has a lot to say about her journey. And then it's time to fill out the Says Means Matters chart. So like usual, I will give you either a quote or I will give you a description. Depending on what I give you, you have to give me the other thing. So if I give you the quote, remember you can see what page number the quote is on, then you will give me a description of what's happening in that quote. If I give you the description, then you find a quote that matches that description. And don't forget, when you put in your quote, please do a citation. Citation should look just like that, the author's last name and the page number and a period. And in the right side column, whether you're giving me the description or you're giving me the quote, explain why is it important? Why does it matter? What is interesting about that moment in the story? And then as usual, you have a quick open response to do. Please share your opinion with me. Please find a quote from the novel or elsewhere to support your claim. Even if the quote that you find just explains the situation, just paste it in there. You can use one of the 4 quotes from your chart. 2 of them I gave you, and 2 of them you're going to find on your own. So even if you're just using a quote to explain the situation, please put it into your open response. All right, always want to use textual evidence to explain or argue or provide evidence. All right, so that's going to do it, everybody, for this video. Thank you for working on classwork number 45 with me. This is the 8th chapter in the book out of 12, and so we are heading towards the end, the exciting conclusion of The Handmaid's Tale. Again, thanks for watching. Please let me know if you need any help on this assignment, and have a great class.